My question for both of you would be, what are your personal beliefs about why the number of mutilations, as well as their elaborate nature, such as cutting crosses into eyelids on Edos, increased with each Canonical 5 victim, with the exception of Stride, as the killer was likely disturbed before he could mutilate her remains? I often see people online assuming that the mutilations worsen with each victim because the killer is spiraling further into madness with each kill, leading to complete madness after the Kelly murder. However, personally, I believe that it's possible that the killer was not a raving lunatic, as many speculate. And while I agree that he likely took pleasure from them, the mutilations worsened due to the killer trying to create more of an impact on whoever finds the body, as well as to garner more attention through the media, as well as to instill fear into the public, which he likely took pleasure, satisfaction from. I feel this could also be seen by the killer beginning to pay more attention to the posing of Mary Kelly's body. Oh, that was a long one. So I'm going to take a rest, Stephen. Hand that one over to you quickly.
Oh, thanks a lot. What do I guess? Where do I start? Anything's possible, but personally, I don't see what the questioners proposing themselves. I think the nature of the wounds changes and increases because the killer's gaining experience and confidence as he's carrying out more murders. The escalation between, say, Nichols and Chapman are probably only apparent because he's disturbed in the Nichols case. If he hadn't been disturbed in the Nichols case, I think we would have seen very similar wounds to what we see in the Chapman case. Eddowes obviously is disturbed as well, and he's disturbed very quick, very early after he's cut the throat. If not while he's actually cutting the throat. Some of the wounds to the face of Eddowes, it's been speculated, could have been caused as collateral damage as the killer is attempting to skin the face. I've seen that argued in the past, that he's attempted to cut to skin the face back, and that's why you got wounds on the cheeks and everything else. The X's on the eyelids, yes, it does sound a bit over the top, and we can't explain that. But also the question about posing.
I was going to ask you about that because I read this a lot about the Mary Kelly was posed, but was she posed?
It's the whole point. People say she's posed. It's become a very popular thing to suggest that she's posed. There's got one arm across her. I think that's the reason why it's suggested she's posed. There's one arm across her. But is she really posed, or is it just the way the killer's left her? We don't know. It may be posed. I'm not saying it's not, but we don't know it is. And it's another one of these things that gets repeated and stated, and then gets stated over and over again until people accept it as a fact. And I'm not saying they're not posed. I've got some very good friends who actually argue that the killings are all posed. And I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just not convinced that they are all posed, as in deliberately being posed.